Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are with me for the first time, my name is Melissa Reed and I am a mixed media artist. So I have in front of me today an 8" by 8" cradled board, unfinished, unprimed. I will have links for all of this in the description if you are interested in what I'm using and where I got it. So I'm not going to prime my canvas today. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's really kind of your call and depending on what you're doing as to whether or not it makes sense to. I definitely could have, but I know I'm covering the entire thing for my first layer in a dark color, so I didn't really think it was necessary. I have several colors there that I'm mixing together. I've got a black, a dark brown, and a dark blue. Those colors will be listed in the description, as I've said. And I just went ahead to make like a kind of warm black that I am spreading on with my palette knife. I am intentionally leaving this thick and textured, and I am actually going to go in once the entire surface is covered up here and add even more texture with my knife. And this is a step that you can do to really get your surface activated and ready to immediately accept texture when you put future layers down. So once I have everything completely covered, and it is completely covered, even though it looks like there are some bare spots there, that's actually just reflection. And I'm just creating even more texture just by applying that knife to the surface and lifting it up again. And I'm going to get that completely dried. And when I come back in, you can see all of those wonderful textures on there. Now, my thought with this is I want to use some bright oranges and bright like turquoise blues as their contrasting color. So I'm going in and applying paint. I've got my color shaper there. That's my 1" color shaper that I'm using. And I'm kind of really just working it down into those grooves. Also applying some of it to the surface. I don't know what this piece is going to look like yet. I just do know that I want the texture to really be a prominent feature of the finished product when it's all done. That is my first layer, and that I believe is fluorescent orange, which is never really bright enough for me, or I guess opaque enough is the word. So I'm adding a little bit of titanium white to it and then going back over and kind of hitting the tops of some of those textures. I just really want a lot of orange and a lot of texture here. So I'm going to get that laid down also with my color shaper, and then I'm going to go in on top of that and add in a brighter color, and that is fluorescent red. So I'm getting some of that down, and while that paint is still wet, just going and adding it on top. Now you can see I am not getting even coverage, and I don't want even coverage. I want a little bit of each of these colors to peek out through the others, even that black. I like laying down a black layer first because it's a really great way to get those little dark bits to come up through. It's kind of really the only way to do it that I have found is to just have it there already. Now I'm just laying a piece of tissue paper down on top of there to remove some of that paint, and that's what I've got left. And the beauty of that is I can then use that tissue paper as collage paper in the future. So of course I am definitely gonna keep a hold of that and use that for a fun project coming up. So now all of the oranges and reds have dried, and I'm going in with what is unfortunately a discontinued color. I believe it is an Artist's Loft level 3 uh, turquoise, and I really, really like it. It's so pretty in contrast with the oranges and the reds there. Sad that it is no longer, you can no longer buy it, but I'm sure there are other things out there that are similar. And I'm using my brayer to apply this in kind of blocks, I guess, color blocks. So I'm just really going in and getting very thin, transparent layers as well as thicker layers, and then taking that same piece of paper and removing some of the paint again. Now I've got some more of that fluorescent red and I'm going to go in and create some more blocky areas. Just really working on contrast and playing into the texture and really watching how those colors work next to each other. At this point, I guess I'm starting to think a little bit about composition. I don't really know exactly what I want it to look like when it's finished, so I'm going to just apply some of these color block areas and see what I'm working with, and then I'll be able to make that final determination when I go to put the last layer in. But I do know that I like what's going on with the hard lines and the square and rectangle shapes, so I decided to just push through with that a little bit further. I mixed some of that turquoise color with a little bit of the titanium white there just to give another color on the surface, a little bit lighter areas of the blue. And then I decided that I wanted a little area of warmth in there as well, so I'm going to mix a little primary yellow in with that teal and titanium white, and it's just going to create a greener turquoise, more of a green blue color that goes along with what I have going on there. But it's just going to warm it up in a couple little places, and again, just kind of skipping that right across the top, and you can see it's not anything drastic or too in your face. It just added a warm brightness to it that I kind of liked, which is why I did it. Here's what that paper is looking like. It's kind of pretty on its own. I think I might cut that up and use it in a collage in an upcoming video. So I've got a little bit of unbleached titanium that I'm mixing with matte gel medium. This is after everything has dried, and I flipped it around because you know how I like to sometimes do that to see what I'm ending up with. And I am just taking that color that I made there and spreading it in a few areas. Now I added the matte gel medium to it to make it a little more transparent. The titanium, or the unbleached titanium that I have, is a little thick, and I didn't want it to just be a big blob of that sitting right on top of everything else. So in making it a little more transparent, it goes along with all of the other paint that I have on there, and you can still see some of the colors underneath it peeking through, so it creates just more layers, which is really all I'm ever looking for in these pieces. In my opinion, with the pieces that I make at least, the more layers the better, and I think it always tends to just make a much more visually rich and interesting looking piece. So I'm using that color shaper to push those lines, the hard lines, but I also soften them a little bit up at the top and feather them out just a little bit because, again, it's just another way to make it more interesting looking. Adding just a bit more on the right hand side. And now I'm trying to think about how I might want to finish the piece. And I have this interesting pencil that I found in my stash that I have zero recollection of buying. I honestly have no idea where it came from. You can actually see it sitting there, and I'm going to show you on the screen here in a moment. It must have come in a set. It's an ink pencil. It says a bottle of ink in every pencil, and it's a Eberhard Faber No Blot ink pencil 705. I've looked for a link for it, and I can't find a link. I can't even find the pencil on Google. So, I mean, granted, I wasn't searching for hours, so it may be on there. If you can find it, that's awesome. But I'm not going to have a link for this. But so how this works is you draw whatever you want with it, and then when it gets wet, it turns into ink. Basically, it has like an ink appearance to it. So I'm doing some sketchy flowers on here, and then what I'm going to do is, instead of spraying water on it to activate it, I'm going to apply matte gel medium over the top, and that's going to give enough moisture that it will activate the ink. Now, I'm going to show you that here in a second, and I do have to apologize because my phone rang while I was recording this, and the last bit did not get recorded, which I did not realize until I went in to do my editing. So after I put those flowers on, I do decide to add some flowers in red acrylic ink. But here you can see that ink kind of come to life a little bit when I apply the matte medium to it. Um, I did a flower up next to that tall one, and then you couldn't really see it with the darkness in the background, so I do end up just wetting a paper towel and wiping that off. But I will show you the finished piece here with the red ink flowers on it as well, and I just used a pen and nib with my acrylic crimson um, acrylic ink for the next set of flowers, but I will show you what we've got here in just a moment. Okay, here it is with the red ink flowers on it, and everything kind of came together nicely. The ink pencil is interesting. I think I probably could have chosen something better for this application. Probably gone in with maybe some Payne's Gray acrylic ink instead of that. It was interesting though, and just kind of fun to use the new toy that I found in my stash. Again, no idea where I got it and cannot seem to find one anywhere else, so sorry about that. But you could use a charcoal pencil, you could use ink like I had said, and kind of get similar results. But yeah, that's it for today's video. You have to let me know what you think, and thank you everyone for hanging out. And if you liked what I did today, if you give me a thumbs up and hype it out, and thank you so much for all of the subscriptions. Don't forget I put out a video on Sunday mornings now too. This is my Sunday morning Inkling series, and that comes out Sunday morning at 10 a.m. along with my weekly Friday morning at 10 a.m. and those are both Eastern time. But stop in and hang out with me and we will make some art. Take care. Talk to you soon.